Eh bien, bonjour à tous. Hello everyone. So I will speak in English. My name is Rémi Leclerc. I was MC VP Business Development for ISEC France last year. First of all, I would like to thank you, the MC of ISEC France, to inviting me to do this live streaming. Directly chat with me in the chat of the video how to take advantage of network events. And let's do it. I will use a presentation, PowerPoint presentation, in order for you to directly see, like to have a video support. And after that, I will put the link of this presentation in the chat so you can use and reuse it as much as you want. It will be for you. So here we have one spectator. His name is Clint Adjovistokin, sorry if I didn't pronounce this well, and he is the I6 members of the Toulouse local committee. Thank you for being here, Clint. So let's do it. So here at the presentation. And let's start by the beginning. I said the beginning, not the conclusion. So let's start by the beginning. So what about sales networking webinar? How to grow as never before. So so let's start. First of all, I'm going to explain you a little bit the context of this webinar, and then we go into details. If you have any question and anything, sometimes I will just check if you have question like that. Okay, so I can see what you are saying here. Okay. Do it. Oh, okay. So very fast. Organization, of course, you already know it. What's your mission? Of course, you know it. You also need to know the 2020 vision. I'm not going to spend time because it's not the goal of this webinar, but you need to understand where you come from, what's your vision, what's the international and national direction, in order to understand the context and why this this video is going to help you. Yes, if you understand that our impact is to create a leader that's responsible, and we believe it's that are going to change the world, and ISEC is going to help them to become that they need to be. How can we measure our success? And of course, we can measure our success from the quality of the exchange that ISEC is providing, and also the number of the exchange that ISEC is providing. Here, only to focus on the IGT program. Last year it was called IGIP. Now I think it means like incoming global talent. So how we can measure of success by the number of foreign students into France to do professional internship. Here we are going to focus not on the quality of the internship, but first of all on the number of interns. As you know, it's a challenge in the ISEC world, France, to increase these numbers of foreign people. Like, let's create opportunity for foreign people to come to France. We are going to focus on the number of realization, and I hope after the end of this video, you will have the tools that will help you to increase these numbers. Here you can see the process, sales process. Okay, and here it's the first step, second, third, fourth, five, and of course the last one. The first question that I need to ask you, it's like, what is the first step? And the first step to sell, it's to understand your product. So you need to understand perfectly what is IGT, and of you need, for example, to be able to answer all of these questions. How long will it take to have the interns working with me? Can you find a data analyst from South Africa who can speak French? What are the papers needed for these interns to work in our company? What will happen if we have a problem with our interns during these internships? How much is it? All of these questions I used to answer to this because company ask me this kind of question. If you are not able to understand your product, you are not able to continue this conference, this webinar, because this is the main first step. Okay, to not to know about your product and to enter the company. Okay, I will check and I will come back to you. But the best is to provide the information, and of course you need to understand the basic information. Second step is I know about my product, so I know IGT by heart. I can directly tell the company for the interns to come, depending of where it's coming. I totally know my pricing. I know exactly the services that I can provide to this company. What I need to understand is the value proposition of my product. What we call value proposition, it's very, very important. It's why someone buy your product. For example, if your product it's a phone, buy an iPhone and not, for example, the Galaxy Note. Of course, you saw on the first step that your product has many different characteristics. For example, the iPhone is it's an Apple phone, and it has a specific size and also a specific quality resolution for his camera. On the Galaxy S7 also have other characteristics. But what's called value proposition, it's because, for example, I will buy the Galaxy S7 because of the screen size. Explain me all of the characteristics of the phone. You just need to answer my need and to explain me the Galaxy Note will be more adapt to my need because the size of the screen is bigger, and so I will buy it. Exactly that. The value proposition is like the key to sell. Is your ability to understand the needs of the company in front of you in order to propose your product, but one of the or two or three of the characteristics of the product, and so going to buy it. I'm an international company, and I would like to, of course, I'm recruiting 30 interns by years. Use the services of ISEC. You can explain me that it's the biggest association, that the time is quite short, that you're going to take care of all of the administrative papers. But in fact, what interests me is that you are able to provide me top talents from Ireland, or you can provide me interns from Brazil. Or what's interesting me, it's your ability to help me to develop the leadership inside these students. So in a meeting like in the events, because we are speaking about event here, the precious resources need to understand. It's like what you need to know. What you need to be able is to the need of your customer, so you can present directly the characteristic that interests. So, question for you: what will be the third step? You know the product, you know the value proposition, so you understand the need of your customers, and you are able to present the right value proposition, so the right characteristic of your product. So now, what is like the so now what is the next, the third step? And the third step is target. So you understand your product, you understand the different characteristic of the of your product, and you know how to align this characteristic to the need of someone. So after that, you need to understand who is this someone. Basic product. Who want to hire interns? Why international interns and not French people? It's so much easy to hire for free or for low salary a French intern than in an international one, for different reasons. Why I, as a company, I would like to buy a product. We saw that in the value proposition. So who am I? Sorry, who am I? My experience is I will provide you the clue, but of course it's not all of your targets. But you need to target the company that has a low visibility. Why it's good for them to externalize their services of recruiting interns? It's because they are not known, they are not famous, so it's very hard for them to recruit French interns or foreign interns because no one's know them. So who are there? It's for example, startup or PME. It's a small and medium enterprise who are not big enough to be known by everyone. So it's difficult for them to recruit an interns. Or it can be a multinational working in B2B. Because of course, you know Adidas, you know Apple, you know, yes, you know Facebook, because it's a B2C. So it's the services that they are providing, it's directly for the consumer, for you. And B2B, it's business to business. It means like it's a company who are selling a product or services to another company. That's why they are not known. For example, so you don't know international papers. It's a huge and big company. So lack of visibility, because if they want to recruit interns for international or not interns, they need to make huge efforts to be visible. And that's why it's so easy to go with ISEC, because it's a full package, and they don't have to do a lot of efforts to recruit someone. And yes, of course, if you need to target a company and organization, it's company organization that grow. Actually, it's true and false. It's true because you cannot go to a startup that doesn't have any that are on too early stage. You need to go to a startup that already a lot, and that is growing, so they can have the resources. So I mean the budgets to use the ISEC services. But in the same time, also some company want to hire interns because it's difficult for them. They have a difficult time, and interns is so low prices, so that can for time use interns. The last one, it's also market expansion. Yes, we can target company that want to expand in a new market. So advise you to also see about the digital product. So they can hire a foreign intern in order for these interns to sell the product of the company inside this country. So it's some clue that from the value proposition that you understand in your product, you can say, okay, so my target will be the multinational B2B that want to expand their market, startup B2B that want to expand their market, for example. I will provide you 3 examples. International paper, it's a multinational, it's a B2B, they are very huge, they are international, and actually they are creating all the paper that you are using, and they recruited some interns last year with ISEC France. Next sense, it's also a multinational B2B. They are growing, they wanted to have more international team. They wanted to have global interns that they can have the global mindset, because it was their headquarters, so they were always in interaction with other country than France. Pricing assistant, it's a small startup. They were raising some funds, and then they wanted to sell the product in Italy, in Germany, in Belgium, and somewhere else in other countries. So they hire 4 interns through ISEC in order to do that. Interns that can speak French and they can, of course, speak their native language, and they, of course, these interns were, let's say, more able to understand their own cultures and find the right word and the right way to sell the products of the. If you have any question, just ask me in the chat, okay? And let's continue up. So great. So you understand your product, you understand the very proposition, you understand the target. So now what you need to do. What is the next step? The next step is to contact them. Yes, of course. Easy to understand the product, easy to understand the very proposition. Not that easy actually. You need to ask the customers themselves. Not that easy to find a target, but you can do like market segmentation and try to have like a huge list of companies that you want to contact. But how are you going to contact them? And this is not easy if you are a student without network. So what you can use, you have different touch points with them. Emails, call, physical touch points, email on LinkedIn. How you can have the email, the phone numbers, how you can find physically the right targets and contact the right person. Use your own network, so your personal network, your father, uncle, a friend of a friend that know this person, so they can introduce you and so you can be here. You can also use the network of the alumni. This is a very powerful network that not a lot of people are using, and if you're using it, clearly it will be better. For example, you are in Toulouse. If you're in the business school of Toulouse, they have a huge network. You can have access to all of the contact of the alumni of your school, and of course an alumni that were in your school 20 years ago is now maybe in the positions to deal the right position, so to take the decision to hire interns. So use that network of your school, the network of ISF, of course. Also, you can find a public database. You can ask also the public relation or the company relation of your school to share with you their database, and you can also use the database of your past the past years of your LC if your LCVP IJP created it before. An event, you can use Eventbrite or other event platform that can propose you lots of events. But the best will be like, of course, to target a specific event because you know that someone is already in, and how you know that you can do some research on Google, of course. You have a premium LinkedIn so you can send email to everyone. If not, you will have to be on their first relationship, and it can take a lot of time. So you need to contact them. You have the touch point, and you know how to access to this touch point. My point is, you also need to contact the right person. Yeah, what we call the man, the persons who are able to think about, like, not to think, but the person who know the needs of the organization, the person also who can take the decision to say, okay, I will pay you 2,300 euros for one intern. I agree to have this and this interns because actually we really want to have this intern. So it can be the HR director. It can be it can be, of course, someone from the HR or responsible of the internship. It can be the CEO of the company. It can be also one of the manager of the business unit that want to have these interns. It will be up to you to know who is the right person. So you know your product, you know why someone is going to sell to buy this product. You know this person, and now you know how to contact it. And of course, the last, so it's what you can call a meeting. It's your ability, because let's say the ability that you are thinking that you know what is their need. You are thinking that these targets will be able to buy your product or not. The match process, it's very cool. You can call it like a sales meeting, negotiation, whatever you want. Step where 4 steps to prepare you to have a physical meeting in order to match like the need of your consumer. And I would advise you to do it in different steps, let's say. But the first thing that you need to understand in the match station is like less talking, and more is talking, more is providing you information. Providing you information, you can say his need. So now I can propose him the direct characteristic, and he's going to say yes. To say yes. Sorry. In a meeting, you need to open question in order to understand to have the right information to decide what are the characteristics of your product that you're going to present him. So in order to do that, we'll show you a little matrix of the match thing. The first part, what you need to understand. So I'm going to physically meet someone. So for example, in the event that I target, because I think that Nexans is the right company, or let's take Deloitte is the right company for me. So I'm going to go there, and Deloitte were organizing a meeting, and I saw that GHR is doing a speech. Great. How I'm going to do it? It's not like an organized meeting. First of all, wait and listen, of course, the workshop that she's doing. At the end of the workshop, I try to raise the attention of this GHR, and how I'm going to do it, use what she said in the workshop. I need to see you for the first contact as someone who wants to sell something. The best seller is not someone who is selling. Is someone who understands the need of someone else. And of course, to talk to, let's say she's a girl, to talk to her, the GHR of Deloitte, you can say like, what you say very interested in me because of that, and open a question about that. And then you can ask another question, which will be linked, for example, with talent management for the use inside the company. You can say like, okay, but how many interns are you recruiting each year? What are the main problems that you are facing? How many international students do you have? So you can assess the need and the problem of the company. Go back to this matrix. The first block, it's of course you need to do to go to this event. You need to understand what do you want. You have precise objective about what I want. I want to understand the need of Deloitte. I want to know if there are more than 100 students. I want to know the diversity of the students. It means like how many are French, how many are national, and why they are recruiting, why not they are recruiting international or not. So you need to understand what do you want, because so here what you want to sell an interns, right? You want to create the opportunity for foreign students to live and know some experience with you, friends. To do that, you need to understand why a company would like to do so. What do you want? You want to understand the need of the company. The services of ISEC are adapted to what they want. And this is the next step. The next step, it's like a need is. So what you need to understand is, of course, the need of the company. But maybe Deloitte want to hire 100 foreign interns. So understand it's what can it does, because if Deloitte doesn't have the resources financial to pay you, need to understand what can it does. So actually, what is the resources of the company? And in order to do that, of course, you need to understand more complicated where the money are coming from, what are the budget of the company, and you can also directly see that, for example, they're investing in visibility, human resources, recruitment visibility. Uh, the matrix is you want, of course, you know what do you want. Now what you need, and it's what I'm repeating from the beginning, and I think it's what you really need to understand. It's what does he want, and of course, what can you do? Because if the what want to hire 100 interns, you can just say no, because actually the resources of ISA France, you cannot do it. That's first you're going to start with 30, I don't know, interns for from December, and then you can and so on and so on. Because what is the most important in this matrix? It's like blocks need to be linked together. What do I want? You need to face what can he does. It's need to have a matching, and what does he want need to match with what can you do, and this is important because it's a win-win partnership. The goal of this partnership is need to be sustainable. Need your partner satisfy. So how to have a win-win partnerships? For that, you need to understand if you are able to provide the services that you propose. If you are if this company is able to provide you what she proposed, and you need a contract. Last step, it's you understand the product, you understand the value proposition. So product, I know all of the characteristic. Value proposition, I know what is the need aligned with one of the characteristic. For example, I'm taking care of flat direct and all of the paper administration. One of the pain of the companies actually they don't know the process and they don't know how to do administration papers for foreign to recruit foreign interns, and it's very complicated and take a lot of time for them. So you know that paper corresponds of the pain, so the need of the company that you know the product, you know the value proposition, so you can guess and onwards the target. You will find the right channel and the right way to contact them. And here is, for example, an event. And so, and this is the main aspect, you are going to create during this event an attractive, an interest in the right person. So you can start a conversation where you are going to ask needed to assess, and so you can understand what is the value proposition that corresponds to this company, and you can go to close the deal with the company. And the last step is, of course, you need to follow up that, because that you did help you to understand for your specific product IGT, how you are doing it, understand how to assess, and more you will understand the need of. And so you need to follow up all of that, all of this information, because you don't want to do a great Melda. You want your LC to become one of the best LC in the world. You are not doing it in 1 year. You are going to do it in 10 years. So during 10 years, your LC will be the first. And for that, you need to knowledge, and you need to follow up to write everything. So now it's your turn. First was the product. Second is value proposition. Then it's target. Then it's finally it's follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. If you plan to go to an event, you need to know how to answer this question. What is this event? To contact. Why did you choose this target? How are you going to know their needs? Do you have a clear and precise objective for this event networking? prepare, more you have chance of success. Of course, you can be lucky, but more you are prepared and more you're lucky. Thank you a lot for this webinar. If you have question, it's time of question and answer. You can go to the chat and ask me the question that you want. And I will uh, sharing screen. And here we have 3 people who are looking. And also we have, yes, we have 10 seconds of decay. So please, your question. The chat is on your, it's in the YouTube and it's on your right. A question. Is it clear? Do you want to come back to something? Like, I mean, I was quite fast and it's difficult to have it. Because if not, I'm waiting for you, but okay, yes, Clint. I can explain the follow-up part again. What I mean by follow-up, it's like you can use customer relationship management, which is called CRM or CMR. I don't know in English. What does it mean? It means like you have one platform useful. I mean, it's need to be useful. When, for example, I'm learning document about my product, learning document about like responding to the value proposition of my product, information. It will you for the transition with your LC, with your I6 members next year. What you need to do is like each time you're going to an event, you can write where you went, what did it work, what it didn't work, and of course, it's not easy to have a contact with someone. Sometimes you are sending an email and then you need to follow up. So it means like you need to send a second email 2 weeks after because it didn't answer to the first one. On the event, so you need to write somewhere the contact of this person, the phone, email, did what you were speaking about, talking about, I don't know, during this event, and then yes, and then next week when you are going to open this information platform, you will see exactly what you said, so it will be easiest if you want to send him an email back or to call him back to say, oh, we met, I met you last week during this event, we were talking about this, I would like to know if it's still possible to meet or something like that. So actually it's a knowledge platform will help you to organize yourself and also help you to stock all of the knowledge in order for you to improve yourself and also for the future team to have your work in order to capitalize on it. If not, you're going to start from the beginning each time. It's what ISA France is doing for the past, I don't know, 5 years. So follow up. Did I answer well your question? Yes, I just said that I don't know who are the two of the participants. If you have any question, please do it. If not, we can conclude the the live. Okay, so in 1 minute, this live will be finished. And in the same time, I would like to thank the three courageous participants who were listening to me during more than 30 minutes. And thank you also, Essex Friends, for inviting me to do this awesome webinar about networking and how to sell. My main advice is for, of course, to practice. And then you will more understand. Nice. Nice. See you guys.